name is Cypher Morrison, and this is This Week in Car Audio. Tune in. This Week in Car Audio. Tune in. We'll be talking about bass, talking about chips, talking about rings. You ain't got them, zip your lip. You got a problem you haven't found, check your grounds. The show about to start. Tune in. This Week in Car Audio. Yeah. Tune in. This Week in Car Audio.
Welcome to This Week in Car Audio with your host, the Judge, Doug Stockton, co-hosted by Mr. Hollywood himself, Jeffrey Fernandez. What's going on, Jeffrey?
Good. Wow, I haven't been to Hollywood in a while.
I know.
It's the watered down version that they offer here, like around Dallas, Austin area, but still, that's some good work.
Watered down.
They don't have like the mega studios that I've seen so far, like like Warner Brothers, Paramount. That's like city blocks.
Oh, right.
Of studios and stuff like that. But I heard that they're gonna be building some, and Celeste down there in Austin she's giving me the rundown every time she sees something in the news about a studio being built out there where she is. So
Oh. Anyway, did you have a show coming anytime soon, or?
2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay. And we didn't have our thing.
Right, because you were out there bowling, or you didn't make an appearance at the showdown. We were expecting you.
I was trying to, but we figured it out. My son and I figured out we bowled in 4 days. We bowled 44 games. So on Saturday, I was making some serious headway.
Okay.
I was 2 games away from the $130,000 game.
2 games away, meaning
if I would have won the last 2 games, I would have been 130.
Oh, wow.
So
Jeez.
I made it pretty far, pretty deep into the tournament.
Did you get any consolation prize?
Yeah, it wasn't a whole bunch. So first, like I said, it's around 130,000. Bowling is king for Doug, according to Eric. Anyway, so roughly 2,000 entry or 5,000 entries, and I placed about 10th, and I got $1,500 for placing 10th. So,
wow.
Yeah. So that tells
seems like
you
a lot of work. A lot of work for.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess if it would have went your way, you would have got that $100,000, and you would have been set, right?
Yeah, it would have been nice. They tax
There's that
this money,
chance.
so that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, I really like the tournaments that don't turn your winnings into the IRS. Much bigger fan of those type of tournaments. Rosa with good evening and happy birthday to me. Thank you, Rosa.
Yeah, we need to sing you happy birthday today, right?
Don't have anybody over there on YouTube yet. So anyway, our guest tonight is Wyatte Meier. How's it going, Wyatte?
Good.
Yeah.
Trying
So
to get some good weather here, so getting excited.
Wow.
It was pouring rain out here the last couple of days. We actually had, I think, 14 inches of snow up in Reno yesterday or the day before.
I saw pictures. I think Rusty put up some pictures, and
Okay.
his backyard is just like a winter wonderland, he said.
Yeah, I didn't even go on Facebook before this live. I was in Vegas for a few days, and then I'm literally trying to close out 3 different projects right now, and so they're consuming a lot of my time. So, yep, I
And you're
see
still
you.
going back and forth every week, or
What do you mean?
weren't you having to go out of state?
I was having to go to Reno, but that I'm not going there, but I'm still closing out the project. Oh, Greg Cleary popping in here. Haven't seen him in around in a
He
minute.
he was at the showdown. He was at the showdown.
Was he?
Yeah, it's crazy. He was at a show I did here in Texas, like it was probably a couple of years ago,
Uh
and
huh.
he like makes all these shows, multiple states, and when I saw him in at the showdown, I was like, What are you doing here?" But I guess he's out of your area.
uh, I thought he was out of L.A.
Hmm.
No, he might have been up
He'll have to
here. I
chime
mean,
in.
I recognize. I recognize him,
Hmm.
and he's been to World Finals a few times.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I like I said, but I thought he was out of L.A. for some reason. He might be up here in Northern California. Anyway, Eric Hansen says, "Okay, let's talk Penkadow rules already." So, what are your questions, Eric? We can help you out with this. So why don't you tell us about who was at your show and what you might have seen there?
At the showdown.
Yeah.
Wow, it literally was an area just for pretty much the basehead community. Um, you had the lane set up, you had demo alley, you had vendors. I think there might have been a car show mixed in there. I didn't really see too much of that. I did see a bunch of classic cars, but for the most part, man, it was just like basehead heaven. Um, there was so they had the vendor area, and then at the end they had like the demo vehicles. I think Benjamin Barnett.
Uh
I
huh.
think he's
Ben
out of your
Barnett.
area.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ruthless Audio.
Ruthless. Right.
Yep.
Yeah, he brought the Hearst out there,
Yep.
tapping people out left and right. I think they were doing a running count of who actually tapped out, and I think the count was up to close to maybe 150 people.
Oh.
But man, they were asking me if I wanted to get in there. I was like, I kind of value my hearing. So maybe not. But I did get in a couple of cars, which was cool because, it was a 2-day event. So Saturday, we tried to knock it out as much as we can, getting done with bracketing. And then we kind of wanted to hold the one run formats open for Sunday if anybody wanted to,
Mm-hmm.
which I think there might have been a couple. But yeah, we were just kind of engulfed in getting demos. Me and Andy were doing the event. Andy drove down from Utah. We ended up using his equipment and stuff like that. But
Right.
yeah, so we were getting demos, getting videos. Our friend Steve Barber, who actually put on the event, had his vehicle there. We got a demo in his vehicle. It made it on Shindom's Facebook page, which was kind of cool. And yeah, it was fun. Definitely, if you guys haven't gone, definitely, at least
Plan
once
for it.
check it out. Yes,
All
definitely.
right.
I'm not exactly sure if they have scheduled for next year, but definitely be on the lookout. It was it
Yeah.
was it was really fun. Like I said, Greg Cleary was there. A lot of guys from Mexico made the drive up north.
Oh yeah, they were sending me
Um,
video.
yeah, the your friend Luis
Yep.
Carlos Rodriguez was there,
Yep.
in his little tiny Corsa.
Yep.
Was there Anna?
He's all, look, no red light.
Yeah, which was, I don't know how that works
I
sometimes.
do.
It's like we throw the clamp in there and then we just cross our fingers and we hope it works. And luckily it worked out. And he was happy. We had Brent Levitt come down from
Oh.
Idaho.
Uh huh.
I'm sure he was there for the event, but he came through the lanes. As you know, it was a triple point event. So each person who put up a high score is basically a potential world record holder.
Yep.
And I was explaining to everybody how DB Drag has their world record. I guess status is the
Hmm.
first five triple point events of the year. They kind of take all those scores and
And
um, you know,
compile them, and then the
yes,
highest
yeah,
one, yes.
yeah. So I
Um,
made sure that they were all members of DB
yep,
Drag, and we
that's the
did
important thing is the member.
full
So,
audits and stuff like that.
Greg Cleary, he says he's out of Santa Maria, which is just
Ah,
north of LA, kind of.
yeah. Yeah.
Eric Hansen wants to know how old I am. I am now 51.
Whoa.
All right. Quick question from Eric Hansen. Wyatt, do we need to have back seats in the car for Pankadal, or are you not familiar with the Pankadal rules?
Never done it and barely even looked at the rules besides when we were discussing them a little bit. That was actually something I was going to mention tonight because I saw Jeffrey was doing some at his show.
Uh-huh.
I was just curious, kind of how you set that up and then what the turnout or what people thought of it.
Well, believe it or not, so our friend of the show, Joel,
Mm-hmm.
uh, Ebomit, that's how you pronounce the last name.
Yeah, you bomb it.
So he was there. He was in full on Pankadal ambassador mode, right? So he was like telling people how it's done. And believe it or not, so when he ran, there was two other cars down the aisle that looked at Joel's stuff and was like, "Hey, can I sign up?" So
Uh-huh.
I was like, "Of course you can. This is kind of what we were intending that we'd get Pankadal out there for people to check out and want to compete. And I thought he just had a wall of 215s. This is because their vehicles coming up, and he wanted to sign up, and I was like, okay, where's your car at? And he showed it to me, and I was like, well, let's check it out. So I went to the back, and man, just full on stunt wall mode, So I was like, wow, okay, well, we got pretty much a full-fledged, full-on Pankadao competitor here. Joe was checking it out, and but for the most part, I got the rules. I think it might have been from 2022
Mm-hmm.
rules from Solis, so I don't think much has changed.
Nothing's changed.
Exactly, exactly. So, um,
So
3 feet.
essentially, yeah, 3 feet off the ground, 3 feet away from the trailing edge of the vehicle. So whatever the
Mhm.
furthest protruding out the rear,
Yeah.
that's where you put the mic. You can be.
Okay.
It's a 3 foot minimum. Joel and I played with
Yes.
raising it a
Height,
little bit.
as far as height, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and above 3 foot really hurt his vehicle.
Did it really?
Oh yeah. So what kind of
Oh,
scores were they
wow.
doing?
I think Joel had a 134.
Okay.
I think the other competitor from Mexico wasn't too far off. He might have been a 132.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I was a little confused because it's peak hold, right? So right,
Correct.
they don't have to play the full on 30 seconds. They could play like maybe a song for like 5 seconds, put up the
Correct.
score, and then okay, okay.
That
That's what I
is
was a little
correct,
confused about.
but the intention of it is to show off their vehicles,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and it
And
definitely did.
their score is part of a full spectrum. So if you only
Okay.
play it for 10 seconds or whatever, it's hard to get the full spectrum
Ah,
in it.
okay.
So Eric Hansen wants to know, do you have to have the back seats in the car for Pank It Out?
There was I think a part of the rules that said you did.
Okay.
But I
I
wasn't
don't
able to
remember
check it
that.
out.
I mean, we measure outside the vehicle, so I'm not sure
Yeah.
what back seats have to do with it. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
let's see here.
Yeah, and I see in the 2024 rules it still says preliminary right now. I think because we were still chatting about it a little bit.
Hmm.
Yep. Uh,
I think for the most part, it was class determinations and stuff like that, and what needed to be implemented and what needed to be taken out, something like that. But
yeah.
Yeah, cars, vans, trucks, SUVs, or what at least what we had at
mhm.
one point. I don't know how many classes or what you were running when you did your show. Did you
It,
have that
it,
many separated or no?
yeah, it was just two separate classes. Of course, Joel was competing in his van. The other vehicle was just I think it was a sedan. So I mean, it wasn't entirely too difficult. But we were kind of messing around with different songs. Well, Joel was,
Yeah.
you know,
And his first
which
song was the best, right?
yeah,
It
yeah.
always
Which,
is.
I if we didn't have enough time, I think we can kind of treat this as like a one run
Yes.
type format or okay.
The intention is to let people show off their vehicles, and that's
Right.
kind of why we give a little more latitude there.
Hmm.
Mario Perella says it's always nice to see judges getting demos.
Oh yeah, he was there.
Yeah,
Yeah. All the way from San Diego. He made the trip to Vegas.
there you go. Yeah, instead of singing "Happy Birthday, Mr. President," I would sing "Happy Birthday, Mr. Judge." A bunch of happy birthday things. Just so you guys know, my birthday ain't no big deal to me. My wife wants to make it a much bigger deal than it is, so I appreciate it all. But um, yeah,
I think we kind of get to that point sometimes where it's like, it might be another day. I mean, if
yeah.
it falls like on a Wednesday or Tuesday or something, I'm like, okay, that's just another birthday. But my last birthday was on a weekend, and I was like,
And you
man,
were
we
in
gotta.
Vegas.
I was in Vegas. I was like, we gotta do this up.
Yeah. Spencer Stanlin says that 162 and OG 10K is higher than the winner last year. He says he needs to
Oh,
come out swinging.
yeah, definitely.
He needs to come out as a swinger, is what he actually said.
Is that what he said?
And then he corrected it to swinging. Well, Neil Barber, I think's down with that swinger lifestyle, so he might be
Whoa.
he might be cool with that. Let's see. SQ Sounds out of Barbados says we want to start the Pank It Out here in Barbados this year because we have
Hmm.
a lot of builds that can compete in that type of format. Let's see. Joel with his song has a very long intro, which ain't wrong.
Yeah, yeah. And I even mentioned that. I was like, why does it have to be so long?
So
Why
I
can't we just
always
get
bring it up
into
as
it?
in he's trying to build the anticipation. Can you feel the anticipation? And I do that kind of thing when he's doing this.
Like when the bass drops, right?
Yeah. So Eric Hansen says everything is measured outside. What matter? What do the seats matter? He ain't wrong.
Right.
Um, Joel said that Eric showed him rule number 9, indicating about rear passenger seats. Um, Justin wants to know: do you have to use the DB Jam CD for Pank It Out?
I mean,
It's
it
not
didn't
required.
say that in there.
Nope,
Right.
not required. And it goes by full spectrum,
Hmm.
so
Yeah.
you
I saw
probably
like
don't want to use it.
Yeah,
yeah.
if you use modified or whatever, I would, it's not like you're putting yourself in a significant advantage, right? You
Yeah,
gotta still have all the pieces of the song in there. So
that true. Eric,
So it also records like the peak frequency, right? And I saw it goes all the way up to like 35K,
20K,
35,000 hertz.
20 hertz.
35,000.
Oh, is it? I thought it was
Yeah.
20 to 20, but it might
No.
be 35.
Yeah,
Anyway,
35,000.
Eric Hansen says he's older than me.
What?
Matt
No
Busby,
way.
one of the guys that was on here, says, so my 35.
Shipping and handling.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there's a what's it called? The like when my wife buys tickets online, yeah, the tickets are only $35. After expenses and extra cost,
Oh,
$72. Huh? March is the best month. His birthday's in a few weeks. That's Tristan from Barbados.
oh, cool.
Says maybe DB Drag is going to come out with a Pan Edo CD. Oh, I think Pank It Out CD. I doubt we're going to come out with the Pank It Out CD, just so you know. Moses Martinez. He says he's in the building.
Moses was at Showdown too, and
Oh, how did Rosita do?
well, I think She passed it over to Moses. Moses
Okay.
took her run. She pre-regged, but then Moses did ended up competing. But yeah, I think he was, brand new setup. Fortunately, things didn't really work out for him. I
Okay.
think he might have, boned some stuff, um, but yeah, it says there we lost some equipment.
Yeah.
Bummer. And I think some people really wanted to run Top Dog with Moses. Well, quite a few people. Joel wanted to,
Okay.
but I think it might have been a little too late though.
Gotcha. Joel wants to know Jeffrey Fernandez, is there any update? Uh, when would the scores from Penkidow from
Hmm.
Vegas show on Term Pro?
So we sent them um when I guess from a judge's um like procedural. So when you put up a show,
Hmm.
there's like little boxes you click off, DB drag,
Right.
and I guess I forgot to check off Pegdadow.
Oh,
So when we were uploading the archives, um, it wasn't available. So we ended up emailing it to Celise. So hopefully she'll get that in there, which
she's
it's not a
busy down
problem.
in Vegas right now.
Yeah,
For her and Ray Choi and
a
Wayne
Ray's there
Harris.
too. That's
Yeah,
right.
Ray's down there. They're doing.
Master Tech, right?
That's what it is, Master Tech.
Yeah,
Yep.
Master Tech. How fun.
Moses says no excuses though.
Yeah. Yeah, you know
Uh,
him. He's still in good spirits.
yeah.
When they had me announce his name, right? They wanted me to do it how you do it, and I was like, "There's no way." I tried it, and then like my voice started cracking.
Uh,
Luckily, I found something on Facebook.
okay.
So I was playing it. I paused it, and then I was like Moses Mar, and then I put it on the phone, and it did that little thing, and I was like Teenus. So they
uh,
enjoyed
there you go.
it.
So Eric says, can we get a ruling on the seats? We will not make a ruling here tonight on that by any means, but it is something we can bring up within the judges' forum.
Trying to look up
He said
where
rule
that
number
was.
9.
React. It was the
Um, Moses Martinez wants to do Pank It Out too, according to Joel, and Moses gives him the big old laughy laughy. There's Rosita. It was hilarious, she said.
it wasn't like a traditional call. It was kind of weird, so that's why I used it. But
Eric says if I need rear seats, I won't be able to run. My new sub is going to take up 12 cubes of my back seat. So that may be something we want to bring up in the judges forum. Just what's the intent of having the rear seats in Pankadow since it's out the back of the vehicle anyway?
Mhm.
Right? Because it says measure in the rear of the vehicle. So if somebody even has speakers in the grill, it doesn't help because that's on the front of the car. Uh, so,
Okay, it looks like I was
Yeah,
just able to bring it up here.
okay.
perfect.
Well,
Wyatt Moses says, speak up. Woody McDonald
okay,
jumping
so it
in.
says here passenger vehicles must have functioning front and rear seats under specific guidelines for DB Drag Pankadow.
Huh.
So passenger vehicles must have functioning front and rear seats. I can understand front
Yep.
as
It
far
may
as
be
rear
something,
seats.
like I said, the Pankadow rules are very malleable right now.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. I wonder though if it was like a car, right? A
Yeah.
sedan or something like that, and you can build your box all the way up to the back of your front seats, right? Um, you could add more equipment and get louder and in that aspect too, right? If you wanted to port something out the back specifically for,
correct.
what they're gonna do.
Yeah, so
Um,
instead of using your cabin, you just open up your doors and use the outside, right? So
right.
building a wall, the deep wall.
I'm wondering though. Um, so this here says DB Drag Pankadow rules English. This initially started off as a
Brazil.
Brazilian.
Yes.
So I wonder if this was kind of like translated from what their rules were, and there was might be some words or phrases that might not have fully translated, and I wonder if that's probably what it was. Maybe it meant something like interior or something. I don't know. I don't speak Portuguese, but maybe that's what it meant, and then it literally translated as front and rear seats. I don't know. We'll have to
Yeah.
look into it some more.
Yep.
But
Because is there anything else in the rules that says like interior modification or any like, or is there anything that calls that out specifically, or does it not mention it?
see here, interior. Let's see here,
Yeah, just like,
guidelines.
do you need panels in place? Do you need, if you had, all your door panels were off and you had,
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know, like you said, we're measuring outside the vehicle. Would that even matter score wise, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
So, Woody McDonald says it was nice to finally meet you in Vegas. He's had to have met you at World Finals.
Yeah, right. Yeah, at the satellites,
Yeah.
California satellites.
Moses says, Joel, I need 2 to 3 years just to match your sound quality, another 3 to 4 just for the lights. Tiffany says it's Portuguese, not Brazilian. You
Right. I thought
corrected
I said,
yourself.
yeah, I said Portuguese,
Yep.
but
Um,
yeah,
oh, Jesse Navarro says Joel speaks 7 languages.
does
That's
he
what he
could have helped me
says.
with the our south of the border friends where I was having trouble. I ended up having I think Anna Cisneros help me out with that, but
Oh, okay. Casey Custer, the guy that helps me out do my shows, popping in here. I bowled with him actually Saturday night. Oh, I wouldn't call what we either one of us did bowling, but yeah, we were throwing a ball down the lane Saturday night. Yeah, we got Jesse Navarro popping in. I told you last time I will help you for your Pankadal project. So I guess that's Joel talking to Moses. Eric says he's liking this discussion. Manny
okay.
Alejandre popping in. Lord of Base Manny in the house. Steve Willis popping on. So, since Steve Willis popped on here, I just want to mention my boss is a total dick. So,
How do you really feel?
yeah, I don't hide shit very well. Anyway, so I moved a bunch of Nyman's trophies to my trailer at work because we're going to give them out at Autorama. So part of the whole thing is, I wanted to give everybody a piece of Nyman type thing, and so I stored his trophies at my job site trailer. It's a 24 by 65-foot trailer with literally nothing in it. And the boss came by and said, "You got to move your trophies out."
Oh,
I'm like, "Dude, they're fine right there." And he says, "Nope, we can't set a precedent with people storing their personal shit on my job sites." So I drove up there Saturday. Dave Bradshaw allowed me to take them from our job site trailer to his work, and Dave Bradshaw is going to store them till Autorama for us. So
oh,
that's
cool.
cool. But yeah, my boss is a dick. If I haven't mentioned that. Tiffany says, "I would like to know the answer for the question 2, please." What question's that? Is
Which
that
one?
the back seat? Eric Hansen says for me to tell the truth. Um,
Tell the truth.
uh, Jeffrey Michael Longstreet wants to know: Are you going to come back down to Houston?
I'd like to. That's in the plans. But we have a judge down that area now.
Yeah.
Um,
Is she 2X or is she just 1X?
I think she might be 1X at the
Okay.
moment. She just
Anita.
actually had a show this past weekend out in South Padre Island. And I looked up the directions. I was like, cool, maybe me and Dana can go. And it
Uh-huh.
was like 9 hours.
I was
And
gonna
I
say
was
that's
like,
Texas is a big state, dude.
oh, yeah. And this was
All the way
like
out in
the
the Delta.
southern
Yeah,
part
yeah. That's
because it's on an island out there.
yeah, inside the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah.
Steve Willis says, "Yeah, Dave Bradshaw's the man." Michael Longstreet says, "Is that Terry Bradshaw's son?" Uh, Michael says, "Yeah, Anita, that's right." Um, Justin Solman, my boss is a dick too, and then he says,
Bummer.
"Being self-employed sucks."
Was he talking about himself?
Yes. Mel Valadez said it was a great show.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I saw footage and I saw Mel lurking in the background of the DB drag part.
He was hiding.
I think he might have competed in another organization though.
Okay.
But yeah, bummer. I saw the footage and I was like, wow. I mean, it was I think it was a heat wave
Texas Heat Wave,
event.
yeah.
Yeah,
That used to be a big deal back in the day.
but there's like multiple Texas heat waves,
Oh,
I
is
think
there?
now. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I think this was just the spring break
Mm-hmm.
jam
Oh, okay.
edition of heat wave, I think.
Speaking of big shows and heat waves and whatnot, you should be getting closer to your frost off there, Mr. Wyatt.
Yeah, we had some beautiful weather. We had 60-degree, couple 60-degree days. I had someone on my team that he was heading to California for vacation, and it was about the same temperature out there on the beach as it was here. It was pretty unusual. All of our ski hills and stuff were pretty much closed. Stuff like that. Very weird. Not wintry winter. Doesn't mean something weird isn't going to happen. I mean, we could get a snowstorm in the middle of March.
Right.
That's just the way it goes here.
So is
But yeah,
60 like a heat wave in this
oh yeah,
time?
for this
So
time of
that's
year,
why.
it's
Okay.
normally like 20s.
Yeah,
Wow.
so it screwed up their ice fishing because you weren't going to walk on a lake when it was 60 degrees outside.
Oh yeah, yeah. The ice has been horrible for ice fishing. There's a group that does like ice racing, snowmobiles and ATVs and UTVs. They didn't do hardly any racing. They had to go way up north for one race, and I think they barely even could do that. So
Oh,
it's been a very, very weird year.
and anybody that's ever seen ice racing, it's freaking awesome. Just
Is
saying.
it?
Oh yeah, they put these big old long spikes on the tires,
Oh, right. Wait,
and dude, it is
like on
awesome.
cars or I think I've seen that
Like
on motorcycles.
SUV or not SUV, UTVs, right? What else do they do? I think ATVs.
Hmm.
What else do they race on the ice? Motorcycles.
Yeah, like dirt bikes,
Yeah,
some
Dirt
side
bikes,
by
yeah.
sides. Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
Okay, Eric Hansen wants to know. Okay, so can we get an answer on the seats next week? I'm not saying yes, but we will look into it. How's that? Remind us next week, and we'll see if we get an answer for you. Rain within the car. They can be in the roof or set up externally. Let's see. Padre was big back in the early 2Ks. He's not
Hmm.
wrong.
Right.
Where are you guys talking about? The frost off, if that's what you're asking, Michael.
Yeah.
That is where's the frost off take place? That up in Wisconsin?
Yeah. Yeah. That's down kind of by the border, down by Beloit.
Okay.
So kind of between just over from Illinois. So we kind of tend to get some Northern Illinois folks at that one. It's a good area to do it. Yeah, that's pretty much the first one. I got a handful of other shows lined up. My season, obviously, you guys have already been doing your thing, and it's perfect because it gives us an opportunity for some of these early season rules to be like, if
Hammered
something
out.
just totally doesn't work,
Yeah.
right? Like if you guys do a show and you're like, whoa, we changed this or we didn't change something else, and you do your first show and you're like, okay, we got to address this right away because it's a great opportunity to do so. So definitely been keeping an eye on those for you guys. And then, yeah, trying to get my shows lined up for this year. I mean, I've heard few people, I heard the Michigan guys talking. They have to get their points and all that stuff. So hopefully try to get over there for at least one show in Michigan. I know I was talking with a couple of those guys, and
How far of a drive is that for you?
I think it depends where they want to host it. The last time I went, it was like 6 hours, 5 hours.
Oh, okay, that's not horrible.
So no, not bad at all.
Yeah, that's like me going to L.A. So Jesse Navarro says that they race bugs in Finland.
Do they?
Yeah. Michael Longstreet wants to
Kirby.
know, when is the frost off?
Still talking to Zach for the date, but it's going to be either the last weekend in April or the first weekend in May.
Okay. And everybody's going to be out here for the first weekend in May, because that's May 4th and 5th, which will be Autorama out this way. So,
Yeah, if you guys are flying out there, I was checking flights.
Uh-huh.
I'm so bad I haven't booked yet. But when I checked it out, it was like, I think it might have been like $50. But that was,
What?
one way there to Sacramento
oh, damn.
Sacramento, from where I am. So I'm like, wow. But then on the way back, it was like $200 and something. But I was like, let me just book one way to Sacramento, and then I'll figure it out from there. But
Yeah. No, like I said, so we're looking at Autorama May 4th and 5th. We're going to give away the Nyman trophies on the 5th, on the Sunday. So I'm going to put a special sticker on each of the trophies. Eric Hansen says, Autorama, woohoo, driving. Hey, there's your way back.
yeah, I guess. It depends if he takes out his back seat or not, right?
Yeah, so he keeps saying single sub 12 cubic foot box. I won't have your seats.
Bummer.
That's what Eric Hansen keeps saying. Oh, by the way, real quick, before we get too far into this thing, I want to thank our sponsors again, Voodoo Customs, E-Box Design, and Crossfire Car Audio. Support the people that support things that you guys like. If you have an option, please purchase from the people that support us. So, let's see. Justin says, burgers and brews on Saturday or Sunday. Well, since you can't barbecue inside the Autorama because they have exclusive contracts with the food vendors, you do it whatever day you want, just can't do it inside. I love to hit up a Cali show. This is Michael Longstreet. And a Las Vegas show. They always seem to be big shows. Definitely bucket list. Hey, well, get your ass over here to Autorama. It's May 4th and 5th. Jose
Michael
Ramos.
actually drives to a lot of the shows, a lot of the bar events.
Jose Ramos popping on, says, hey, guys. As a matter of fact, Jose Ramos is going to be at Autorama doing the T.W.I.C.A. So,
he's going to be judging it?
yeah, he'll be judging the T.W.I.C.A part. So, he was saying, that's right. We did go to Burgers and Brews after Autorama on Sunday last year because Hard Rock Casino is right in the parking lot of Autorama now. So,
wait, was that? I thought it was something else. It was Rock and Brews, or
no, it was Hard Rock.
Hard Rock. Okay.
Yeah, it was Hard Rock. And it says you might have forgotten that with that memory of yours. Jeff might still remember.
That's what I was like.
I'm
thought
getting
it was
older.
Rock and Brews.
No, it was Hard Rock.
It was at a miniature golf. They had miniature golf there, I think, right?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Around the backside. Eric Hansen is finals in Owensboro this year, Jeffrey. He's asking you, Jeff. He ain't asking me.
It's possible. I mean, there isn't anything official. I would just kind of keep your ears, to the announcements. I think it would be probably something everyone would enjoy. So definitely, to answer your question, it's not out of the question. It may or may not be.
So yes or no? That's the answer. The answer is
yeah,
no. Jose, this is that's junior. This is senior that's popping in here,
Okay.
not junior. Joel wants to know what time start of Autorama, DB Drag judging. Let me just tell you real quick, the big deal about Autorama, if you don't get through the gate by 10 a.m., they charge you an additional $10 to park. So I would get in through the gate before 10 a.m. And the earlier you get there, the better parking spot you get. Not that there's actually, in reality, there's really no bad parking spots. But if you're there early enough, you can get a parking spot with grass behind your car so you can sit under some shade trees and in the grass. So, but there's plenty of parking for everybody there at Autorama. It's going to be in Dallas, so Jeff doesn't have to travel. Jeff would really enjoy if there was a World Finals in Dallas.
You know me. I'll take a flight wherever it is.
Yeah.
But it would be nice, and I think it would probably.
Dude, you'd have to step up your game on your. You would have to have Andy fly down or drive down his setup for you.
Probably, yeah. If you were to bring the tower, but I mean, Wayne and Celise are in Texas. They're from Texas.
Yep.
It would make sense to have it in Texas. It'd be really cool. They wouldn't have to drive as far or travel as far. But it'd be nice. But hey,
Eric says that didn't help any. Everybody's coming to Jeff this year at World Finals.
Hopefully.
Will Tennessee boys have their own show? So Eric, as a matter of fact, Chris and I had a talk about you last week. Said you're all up in his business. You send him letters or messages asking when are we going to do the multi-venue event. So we were actually talking about that again last week when I talked to Chris, because I was telling his son is also into bowling, and I was talking to him about how I went super far in this big tournament, and I beat out a bunch of people and all that stuff. And so he actually has a very good location now. And so they are trying to work out the date. So.
But the question is, will Eric even qualify? Or
yeah, will he qualify this time?
Will he make top 8?
Joel says, can I run Pankadao the very start of the show Saturday Autorama, because after that I fly to LA from SAC, come back again Sunday for day 2 of Autorama? Yes, you can. We'll run you and you can get out of there, do what you got to do. Justin Stolman says Cali versus Tennessee versus Texas for version 2.
Wow.
So,
we need to get more locations involved.
I mean, I don't know Wyatte's area very well. What do you think your guys? What kind of turnout do you think you could add if we were to do a top dog or a base race multi-venue and include you guys, Wyatte?
Yeah, if it was base race or top dog, usually I get between probably 3 to 7 top dog guys here, depending on the day and the show. Base race, probably, I usually don't fill out any brackets, right? So it's usually a few 129, a few 139. Pretty rare to even see 2 149. Lots of times there's only one guy that plays in the 149, and definitely don't have anyone over that. But what would be nice if we were doing a multi-venue, right, is I could put the show on with the expectation that, hey, this is a multi-venue, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And kind of have the more serious guys that are interested in that put that out. So.
Okay. I mean, that might be something. Maybe we'll do that as a later venue thing, once you get your shows started, going again. Eric Hansen said at least he qualified in 1 top dog.
Yeah, there you go. I think he just needed to wake up, right? He just, didn't qualify for multi-venue and kind of lit a fire, under him, and ended up doing well at finals.
Yes, he did. You did very well. And that's one of the things that this multi-venue will help with for people that are just hanging out or whatever, or just trying it out, is it gives you a good sense of what it's like to compete in a multi-venue situation where you're going against somebody else somewhere in the world. But the big deal also is going to be that you're going to find the people that are there, even if you beat them out for that spot, everybody's going to rally around you because they want their area to win.
Exactly.
So it is, for lack of a better term, it's like team building for an area. And it works really well. It gets the competitors engaged in camaraderie and stuff like that, because they want to take the gold home, obviously. So, Jeffrey, where is your shirt, speaking of, that you had to wear after last year's competition?
I actually have it here hanging.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Just a reminder, do you hang it out in front of every time Eric comes over to practice on Fridays?
I hold it in front of him. No, I just, have it here on a hanger. Just, kind of remind me that, hey, this is kind of why, we as judges do this stuff. It's not about, hey, I'm the best. It's about, hey, we came, we took part, we supported one another, and we're just uplifting each other.
So Michael Longstreet says, if y'all do it, please just let us know a date as far ahead of time as possible. I work at a country club and they don't give me shit when we personally have going on. But if I know ahead of time, I can try to get up to Dallas for a multi-venue deal. And Eric says, they don't know about Dana yet.
What? She's a secret weapon, huh?
Yep. Justin says you should wear that shirt at Autorama because we didn't get to see it over here on the West Coast.
No?
Other than the pictures.
Other than pictures, right?
Yep. So, no, that's cool. What do you got, Wyatt? I mean, what does your season look like? 6 shows, 10 shows? Where are you putting together a pretty decent series, or what's going on?
Yeah, it should be like 7 to 8. That's my hope.
Okay.
My wife and I are in 4 weddings that all are in August, September, almost back to back. One of them we have to fly out to Denver. So that pretty much blows, August, early September completely out for shows, unfortunately.
Okay.
So trying to kind of front load the season a little bit, hit it. That's why I'm trying to get Frost figured out, hit that right away in May, and try to hit like May, June, July as hard as I can, early August, So hopefully try to get 7 or 8. Hoping to have some, I know there's some guys that really want some 3X shows for whatever reason. They're not necessarily setting world records or whatever, but they're just, they like
looking for the points,
3X.
the bigger trophies, that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm gonna try to sneak in a couple just smaller 1X, like I've got a venue really close to me that's really cheap. And just try to get some more shows out there for guys up in the area, and just if they're interested, or if there's a lower turnout, some of those guys can come and practice a little bit, or play around with the meter. One big thing that I always struggle with to try to work on with my guys up here is to get them to go to finals, right? So I've got one guy, Daniel Tate, that's been pretty consistently going.
Oh, yeah.
Outside of that, not a lot of others, make the trip to finals. So it's kind of like, how do I start getting those guys to take that leap, right? And so I don't know if just more practice for some of them, the guys that are doing base racing, top dog, a lot of those guys don't even have meters, right? So they come to the show, they play, but that's not enough time, right?
Right.
As everyone knows, I mean, you can do pretty well, just based off that, but if you don't have the meter on your own to practice at your own will, it's pretty tough to be consistent. So
not everybody's the boss. So
yeah, right.
Justin Stolman says World Finals going to be September 28th, 29th this year, last weekend of September. I don't think so. Usually it's the first weekend of October.
Right.
So it's either the first or second weekend of October every year. So that's what I would expect. So that's cool. Jeffrey, what does it look like for you for shows? I mean, shoot, you're going to do more shows than me this year between California
Man,
and Texas.
yeah. I just got back from doing like February on the West Coast, like
I know, the whole month.
second, third, fourth weekend of February. I was, California, Nevada. Luckily I made it. So I'm here. I'm good. So, I don't know. It's hard to say. I'd like to get a series of shows going, um, and I think that might be kind of getting close to fruition with, the city of Bloomington,
Uh
or
huh.
Bloomington. It was originally called. Now it's called Bloomington. So now with that venue pretty much secured, um, we can kind of, start doing events there. I'm not sure the frequency, but I think SoCal has just acquired a new USACI judge. So they're going to be doing
Oh,
events there
really?
at Bloomington. It's
And
Luis Ramirez.
okay, and
He's
then
doing the event.
also their IASCA judge down there, right?
I'm not exactly sure. I think it's still Ray coming down
Oh,
to do the
really?
IASCA event, and
That's a long drive for Ray. That's like
oh
eight
yeah.
and a half, 9 hours. So
Mhm. And I think that's probably what led to the new judge and new USACI judge in
okay,
SoCal.
okay,
Otherwise, it would have been Becker from Vegas, and
right.
it's like a 3 hour drive. It's not entirely too bad, but I know he's got his hands full in Vegas out there doing USACI events and IFO shows, so he's pretty busy. I guess it was a matter of time before there was going to be a new judge for USACI in SoCal. So
Hmm.
I guess, with that being said, more events are going to be being held there. Because the guy's actually from, I think he's Ukaipa, so that's not too far away from Bloomington. So hopefully, and and the thing with Bloomington, they really like their multi-org events. It's just kind
Okay,
of like a one-stop shop.
okay.
Knockout Iasca, knockout Base Wars, DB Drag, USACI, in one weekend. So hopefully we'll get into a bunch of those and start seeing series of shows.
There you go. Yeah, and anybody that's watching this or listening to this back on the podcast, becoming a 1X judge is not a difficult thing at all. It's super easy to do. But there's Lewis TVC right now popping in. Says he just got off work, late again. He says. Um, but yeah, no, it's real simple to do a 1X judge. Anybody can be one. You host events, and then, like I said, for as far as DB Drag goes, there's a series of steps you need to take to become a certified DB Drag judge for 2X, and then on to 3X, and then potentially on to a 4X World Finals judge. So, once again, if you guys are ever interested, I mean, Wyatte just went through those steps, what, like 3 years ago, right, Wyatte? Or 2 years ago or something like that, right?
Yep, yep.
Yep. So,
Yeah, and
go ahead.
it's great to have more, right? I mean, anyone can do a 1X show, which is awesome. So definitely reach out to any of us if you're ever thinking about it. You just need to have the meter with the event promoter, really, to
And,
do a
well,
1X show.
and then banners, right, and pictures, and there's a list of requirements to do it, but they're very minimal. And,
Yep.
especially like if you're in my area or something, um, then I would, help you out with banners or something. Every one of the judges wants you to be successful. They want the product of DB Drag to be a consistent, great project. So we're our product. We're going to help you every way we can to make
Mhm.
your presentation and what you're doing the best as it possibly can. So,
Yeah, I just had Jody Green. He was
oh
a
yeah,
guest
uh huh.
from, is it Australia or
No, New Zealand.
New Zealand?
Yep.
He messaged me over the weekend, had some rules questions. I was able
Okay.
to help him with that. So I mean, again, we're here to help each other out, and
Mm-hmm.
so luckily I was able to answer those questions for him, and hopefully, he anytime he's got a question, he'll message us. So
Eric Hansen, is DB Drag ever going to Slamology again? My guess would be no, but you never know. It's financially unfeasible, the fees that they want to pay for us to be a judge at Slamology. So it doesn't even cover the judge's time, and it is a very long day. The last day I was there, were you there? You were there with me, right, Wyatte?
Yeah, the last time we went
And
to
I think,
Slam
yeah,
with
and I
Jeremy.
think we did 105 cars that day.
wow.
So
Yeah, two booths, right? So we had
Yep.
drag, and all we did was drag and base race, right? So we had 110 for drag, 110 for base race.
Yep.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Yep. So that's what it is. Michael Longstreet, what about being a judge but still competing? So you, as Eric Hansen says, you can compete as long as you're a 2X judge or lower. And you can only get 50% of your points at your own events. So that,
Yeah, our friend Chris Gregory, he's
Yep.
a judge
he's
slash
2X
competitor.
judge.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's possible.
And then Michael says, always figured that to be a judge, I'd have to retire from competing. That's what Wyatte did. That's what Jeffrey did, right, Wyatte? That yours was the same thing.
Yep. Yeah.
So what happens is you start judging, and it's I don't know how to describe it. It's rewarding in itself. It's a different reward than as a competitor. As a competitor, it's nice. Oh, speaking of Dave Bradshaw, hey, thanks for hosting the stuff. He just got home.
Oh,
Thanks
cool.
for hosting the trophies for us. Anyway, as a judge, I keep telling people all the time I would quit, but the thing is guys that get their rings for the first time,
Mhm.
it's I would never want to take that away from somebody, and I'm not saying that somebody can't step in and take it over for me, and do as well of a job as I am doing. I just don't see. I don't currently see somebody doing it, if that makes sense. And truthfully, I just don't want to see DB Drag go away. I've spent a considerable, 24 years building DB Drag in California, and I'd hate for it just to see it go bye-bye. So, here it says, that's where I've seen Wyatte, was at Slam years back. Yep, Wyatte started out as just like a mic monkey helping out Jeremy. And then, and then kind of when Jeremy decided his business was commanding more of his time and wanted to step back, then, him and Wyatte had a discussion, and then Wyatte stepped up. So, I mean, is that accurate there, Wyatte?
Yep, exactly. And I totally agree with what you were saying, right? The rewarding portion of it. I got to a point where I was just not sick of it, but you spend so much time tearing down, rebuilding constantly, right? And at a certain point, it's like you do the judging aspect and you get to see everyone else's hard work in their vehicles without having to do it yourself. And you take that expertise and that stuff you've learned, and you can give people pointers and all that stuff, but it's also nice to not be like, oh, I got to go home, and every night this week, guess what? I got to change port length, or I got to build a new box because I need to do this, or I need to do that, or, now I need to go spend, well, this was back when lithium first came out, but I remember my first Access Power lithium was like almost $3,000, $2,500, I think they were. It's like, so you drop all this money on equipment, and, it's an interesting change. I agree. It's definitely rewarding doing the judging aspect as well in a totally different way.
Yeah. And helping people out is just, it is actually really cool to be able to help people out, and help them shine, and that's really how I look at it is, I I give those guys an opportunity in the lane to shine. And, not everybody's Moses Martinez, right? They don't just sparkle no matter where they walk. Not everybody's like that. But, I mean, like Eric Hansen, he would be an unassuming guy walking by him on the side of the street, but you put him in a DB drag setting where he's doing top dog and base race, and now all of a sudden he's the center of attention and focus, and it gives him an opportunity to shine in a different aspect in his life that he normally doesn't. So that is so cool, and like I said, for me personally, DB drag, I enjoy the way DB drag is set up. That's why I chose to be a DB drag judge. I've been offered by every organization out there to become a judge for them. There's no organization that hasn't asked me to do their shows also. Like I said, so it's something, even if, Jose Ramos is doing USAC, Ray Pimley's doing IASCA. Those are, they may be the organization that's better for you guys.
Wow, they both started doing DB drag.
Yeah, they both started as DB drag guys and have
competitors.
moved on to. Rosa says, "I thought I was the only one that saw his sparkle." Oh, I promise you, everyone sees his sparkle. Yeah, Mario says there's only one Moses Martinez. But when do we, as just an individual human, when do I get an opportunity to present somebody like Moses Martinez to a whole bunch of people, right? We don't get that opportunity often, and without that, that truly is what drives me to continue judging. I hope I'm explaining it correctly to you guys. It makes sense in my head, but I'm all kinds of effed up. So just ask my wife; she'll tell you. But yes, that's the way I see it. If you guys ever want to judge, you can ask Tristan and Tiffany. I'm helping them out. Jeffrey's helping. Shoot, who was it again? Jody Green. Yeah. Anybody that needs help, wants to judge, even a 1X. We'll
but I do have to say though, I think during his event, it was like 2 a.m. my time. So I get a message and it's like 2 a.m. and I'm like, wait a second, are you still doing? Oh, okay. It must be a different time zone there. So, but I was able to help him.
So right now it's 11 a.m. his time.
That's
so
okay.
I don't know what that shift is. Oh no, it's 12:30 his time. When we start our show, it's 11:30 a.m. Dave Bradshaw says, "Don't cry, Doug. I know it's tough to let go. Ain't letting go. Don't get that wrong." Let's see. Michael says, "I haven't been to one of your shows, but the passion you show isn't something that's everyone has. I still appreciate it. Judges make a big impact on the basehead community as far as what and where we want to compete in." And that is true. The number one thing I tell all new judges is be yourself. You can incorporate stuff you see from Jeffrey or Wyatte or me or Mike Jaffe or some other judge that you've seen, Sam Horn. But ultimately, it needs to be who you are, because if you're authentic, it will drive people to you. I mean, that's the best way I can say it. Look at Jeremiah out in Vegas. What's his last name? Jeremiah Becker. Yeah, Jeremiah Becker. That guy is 100% authentic to who he is. Yeah. And even though he does U-Sucky, which is a format that I can't stand as a competitor, that's me personally. He brings people and passion to when he does the show.
the
Absolutely.
opinions of the host of the show doesn't necessarily reflect those of
The
the other
sponsors
hosts
and
and
the
the
other hosts.
sponsors
Yes.
as well. So
Yep. Day One Snow is my house for sale. Hey, everything's for sale for the right price, sir.
well,
Let's see. Since '05, one of the most genuine guys. Yes, Jeremiah is awesome. His energy is wee. Those Vegas style guys. Absolutely. Michael Longstreet finally caught on to this that I say you sucky. I used to compete you sucky back in the day, and then I learned about DB drag, and I was like, oh no, this is where I'm going. That's how it started for me. So
and imagine if that judge that did that DB drag wasn't, in your area and wasn't doing an event that you just happened to be at that kind of changed your mind about things. Where would you be at? Or would this be this week in USAC history, or I mean, something like that? So that's we see that's a reason why people will want to become a judge is to have that kind of
yep.
I guess relationship with people, have that kind of just look up to. I don't know what word I'm trying to look for, but yeah. So just think of it, if that judge wasn't there for you to kind of change your mind about USAC and DB drag, where would you be? Where would you be at now?
Gary Killian piping in, friend of the show. I've been to competitions in many states. Nobody has put on a show like Doug Stockton. We have a lot of good judges, but Doug sets the bar. I don't know about that necessarily. People seem to think that is the case, but I just believe that a lot of the judges and the competitors have been to shows that I've ran, and so they kind of model it. Not that they do what I do, but they go, "Hey, I like these," and pull little things that I do into their shows, which is cool, and that's really, really, really what it's about. Take what's from me, the best whatever you like the most. One of the big things I did when I started shows is, what does the new guy like? The new guy likes nice trophies. And I know Moses loves his trophies, but in reality, the guys that compete all the time, especially here in California, we have so many shows. They don't necessarily need that trophy, but the trophy's not for them. It's for that guy that he's competing for the first, second, third times. That's really what the trophy's designed for, and it keeps bringing people back, and we have a good, it makes them enjoy what they do. Dave Bradshaw says I need to go hire an auctioneer to replace me. Do they offer happy endings at USAC? Asking for a friend.
Happy endings.
Gary Killen, nobody involves and educates the crowd like me, and your trophies will spoil a competitor. The difference is I own a trophy shop, so I can afford to do nicer trophies than most people. So that's it. But anyway, hey guys, we're already running late. I'm already going to be late to the bowling alley. I got to take some young folks' money, or some old folks, because we're back in Cali now. So I got to take the old folk money. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Wyatte, any last thoughts?
Just keep your eyes peeled. Hopefully in the next week or two, I'll have Frost Off announced and some of my other shows announced. So for those in my area, the Wisconsin area, start keeping your eyes peeled. And if anyone, kind of around me is thinking, hey, we need a show in this area, start reaching out. Like I said earlier, I am pretty booked up later in the summer. So if you're thinking, you're in Minnesota, Iowa, Illinois, Minnesota, Indiana, and you're like, hey, we should do a show here, get in touch with me sooner rather than later, for sure.
Especially not in July. No, August, September.
August,
yep.
September.
Yes.
That'd be a horrible time.
What's up with you, Jeffrey?
Just over my shoulder here. This
10th?
Sunday, March 10th, at Crossfire Car Audio in Grapevine, Texas. We're going to have another DB drag racing event. Unfortunately, we didn't have one in February because I was out in Cali and, Nevada.
Good
doing
times
events,
with the grandkid.
Exactly. More importantly, um, but hopefully we didn't have a couple of guys having base withdrawals, or maybe it'd be a good thing that there were. Uh, Now they got a show to go to this Sunday at Crossfire Car Audio. Check out dbdragracing.com calendar for all the details.
All right. And Moses says if somebody wants to turn up a show to a 2X or a 3X, let him know. Team Space for Base.
Yeah, he was him and his team actually sponsored the 3X portion of Showdown
Oh,
a couple weeks ago
the Vegas Showdown?
in the Vegas Showdown. Yeah. Yeah, and
Oh,
they're from Fresno, so yeah,
yeah.
very cool that they could do something like that and share it amongst the base heads.
All right. And for me, like I said, so to be honest with you guys, I'm trying to work on shows. The problem is I'm closing out 3 projects right now, all at the same time with my day job that sucks up way too much of my life.
Mm.
Um, so I got 3 projects I'm closing out, and it's just sucking my time up. And so I haven't had time to put the shows on calendar and whatnot. But we will still be doing shows at Nyman's shop. I've confirmed with his parents. So we'll have those the same time. I believe it's the second Saturday of the month. And we will continue those once again, like I said, up at Nyman's shop. Fresno, the first Friday of the month. Already confirmed with Jay's Alarms. He's going to do the death match again this year and just give away thousands of dollars in death match. And then Reno, we're going to be back at Baldini's. So I'm trying to get all that set up. So, but anyway, those are the shows that we have. So we'll have 4 shows in each of those locations, plus obviously Autorama May 4th and 5th. So that's all I got going for right now. If you guys have any questions about judging or being a judge or any of that stuff, please contact myself, Jeffrey, Wyatte, or any other of the certified turnkey event promoters in your area. If you guys want to be a judge, you can contact us or DB Drag, and we will help guide you into help becoming judge. And maybe you can grow your area like I did in California, like Jeffrey's doing down in Texas, and Wyatt's doing up there in Wisconsin area. So he doesn't even talk funny enough to be a Wisconsinite.
Yeah, what? He's
I
not
don't
a
have.
real
I don't
native.
quite have that UP accent going on.
UP, what's that?
What is that?
That's like more of what you're like.
Like Jeremy Weber?
Wisconsin, yeah, he has a little more of that, even though he is further north than me. But usually, you get past a certain point in Wisconsin, that's when the accent starts changing.
Okay. Yeah, like Fargo. There's nobody, from what somebody told me, there's nobody in Fargo that talks like they do in the movie. So, but anyway, guys, hey, thanks a lot for tuning in this week. We appreciate you being here. Thanks for all the, Jay's Alarms posted in about the death match. I missed it.
Oh, did he?
Oh, yeah, no.
I think
Let me
Moses
see.
had.
Is it
tagged him.
Moses. Oh, he tagged him in it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway, yep. He's all about that. So look for that on the flyers and all that. He wants to build up that event again, which is way cool. I appreciate that. But hey, guys, once again, thank our sponsors: Voodoo Customs, eBox, install, and install, and what is it? I forgot already.
It's like
Install and
box
design. Yeah,
Yeah.
box design. That's Eric Hansen in the chat if you guys don't know, and Crossfire Car Audio. Those guys help make this thing possible, help pay for all the little bull crap that we got to pay for to do these shows. But once again, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Want to thank Wyatte for tuning in with us again first Monday of the month. We'll try and get him on again next Monday. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys overseas who listen. If you guys can like the YouTube feed, that would be really, really helpful for us. I read a thing about liking YouTube feeds. Once it hits a certain threshold of likes, it actually gets pushed up so more people will see it on YouTube. So if you guys get a chance, go over to the YouTube feed and press the like button. That would be helpful to us. If you guys want to sponsor the show, get a hold of Jeffrey or myself. We'll talk about that. But anyway, guys, once again, thank you for being part of this tonight. We really appreciate you. Thank you guys for all the birthday wishes. I'm going to go ignore Facebook and head over to go bowling after my wife yells at me about not wanting to spend time with her. So, anyway, once again, thank you guys for being here, and we'll see you next week at 5:30 California time, the only time that matters. We out of here. Peace.